Alright guys, I'll go on and get started in about a minute. I forgot to mirror my screen onto from my iPad. So yeah, we'll go on and get started in a second once this is up. So Lion Chats, Jay Cooper, I think I saw Cade in here also. Hey Cade. Thank you guys for coming in. This will be, oh, it's right over here. This will be my third set of Japanese lessons that I have started again, and I hope you guys have been enjoying this so far. There's my iPad. Let me make sure that this will mirror correctly, though. Okay, so I think it will. I'm trying to make it a bit larger, but you know, whatever. Okay. All right, let me go on and switch. Hey, Asinix. Asinonix. Okay. I'm trying. I'm trying. So, hello, everybody. Welcome in. I know I said last time that we'd be like jumping ahead on say like particles, but it made me realize that I forgot to teach you guys something kind of important, and that is something as it's Japanese numbers. I need to teach you guys numbers, especially with what we are going to do next in regard to Japanese lessons. So as a quick review, for those of you that are coming in, you told your dad you're learning Japanese and your mom was surprised. Oh, wow. It is a very difficult language to find. Like, I used to teach it at a high school, and then, well, sadly, I got laid off. I am still trying to teach it at the high school level again. For those of you that are just coming in for Japanese lessons, if you're not part of the Discord, I recommend that you join in on the Discord. That link should work. And once you agree to the rules, make sure you check on the Role Selector tab and select, and then react with, I forget which one. I forget which one it was, but react with the correct emotes that you can get access to the Japanese section. Yes, I had taught 2 years of high school Japanese before I got laid off. I now teach English as a second language to students new to the country. As you can see on my screen, I've got my iPad notes ready. So that being said, make sure you guys have your journals ready too. For those of you that are following along with the Discord information, let me open up Discord real quick. So like once you get the role selector, oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, once you select the role selector, to access the channels, make sure you reply here with Jack Sip. I see 13 people have replied, technically 12. And if you scroll down and find the Japanese lessons, we're going to Japanese 1 resources because we're still at the beginning level. Genki icon Jack Sip. If you click this document, and I think you guys should have access to this document, you should be able to view this. When you click this, say yep, and it will open up the document in a new tab or in a new window. And once you've done so, you'll see that we have the Japanese lessons document here. Like I said, as a reminder, most of the lessons will be based heavily on the Genki 1 textbook. If you don't have the Genki 1 textbook, that's perfectly fine. It's more of a super valuable resource that will give you extra practice when learning Japanese. But the lessons that I'll be doing will be more so aligned with the Genki textbook, and I strongly recommend that you get it. For my followers or students, or I might as well just tell you my students in here, if you would like to purchase it, it is here on Amazon. I've linked the 3rd edition, which is going to be unfortunately more expensive than the other 2, but any edition will work. So if you do plan on getting it, the 1st, 2nd edition, they will be perfectly fine as well. So we started with the Japanese greetings, and I provided this worksheet so that you can study. We also talked about the phonetics in Japanese, and I realized that I took my notes on those on my iPad, so they're not here. So I'll have to copy paste them here somehow. The first lesson 1 was focusing on the vocabulary. I still recommend that you take some time to go to this Quizlet and study the vocabulary words because we'll be using quite a few of these today. Specifically, we'll be using ima. We will be using ima. We'll be using gozen, gogo, ji. We'll definitely be using ji. Mate. We'll be using han. What other? We'll be using. No, we won't be using that one today. We'll be using sai. Enban and Bongo for today's lesson. We will also be using Nani a little bit today as well too. Actually, no, we won't be using this today. We'll be using that in the next lesson. There is like that vocabulary. There's also the optional vocabulary, which I do recommend you study as well. I understand that there are a lot of words here. There are 30, but 30 vocabulary words for 2 weeks. Actually, it's technically like 60. I'm sorry. For 2 weeks, it should be okay. This is definitely more of a college level class kind of thing. If you haven't yet, there's also the hiragana flashcard. So I do recommend you, in addition to 46 symbols, get used to like reading these. Well, it won't be until like chapter 3 where it's very important to know the hiragana. But for the sake of this lesson, I will be using romanji and the hiragana to help. And also the writing focus. I'm not going to be showing you guys how to write the hiragana because YouTube already has a valuable resource that you can use. This is showing the correct stroke order and why it is helpful to use this. Further on, I will explain why the stroke order is important, especially when we start getting into kanji, which maybe today. Last lesson, we talked about our first grammar point, which is using x will y des, where x is the subject, wa was our first particle. It is the topic marker. It will always mark what this sentence is going to be about. And the blue here, I changed it from green to blue, is the predicate, or what the person or thing is doing. In fact, let me change this highlight to blue so it makes sense. There we go. What the person or thing is doing in a sentence. And so we practice this with like, watashi wa sensei desu, I am a teacher. Herufeza-san wa kokousei desu, like he is a high school student. I know he's not anymore. Zerek-san wa America-jin desu. Mr. Zerek is an American. Now, like I said, lesson 3 was supposed to be making Japanese questions and showing ownership. I'm moving this to the next lesson, which will be on this coming Wednesday. And instead, we'll be learning Japanese numbers and how to use them. Japanese numbers and how to use them. Now, excuse me. I'll be making a chart here. So for this, let's create a table. So everyone, I'm going to insert a table. We're going to have 1, 2, We're going to need 3 by 11, kind of like this. And for the first part of the table, I'm going to center this up and label it. You can make this in your notebooks if you'd like. I'm going to center this up. I'm going to paint the background so it's actually nice to look at. We're going to continue using our blue because beginning Japanese level is blue. Then we go to green for the Japanese too. Here we'll have the number, the romanji, and then I'm actually going to put the hiragana and kanji at the end. So going to create a chart like this. I'm going to add some spacing here so it's a little neater on my end. But your table, especially if you're writing in a journal, it doesn't have to be this nice. But I'm only going to be teaching you guys numbers 1 through 10 today. And the reason why I'm doing that is because once you know numbers 1 through 10 in Japanese, you technically know numbers 1 through 99. So I'll give you guys a few moments to make that chart as I look at a few messages. Lion's chat, ban. Ban means number. It isn't a number that you count with, but it does mean number. Now, I did see, like, Lion's chat, you started counting a little bit as well. So, we'll go over that. So, ooh, I want to center all of these. There we go. Now, our first number, this is going to be easy. We're just going to put 1. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm actually going to put, actually no, I will put 10. It's alright. Now, many of you may already know these numbers or may have heard these numbers. When it comes to the kanji, I'm going to write these on my iPad with you guys, which is why I had my iPad out and ready. Like, I would be writing these here. So, and let me go in and do this. Like, oh, I'm writing in red. I don't want to write in red. We have, I'll put these in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll start with these. Now, chat, who know? I'm sure you guys may know numbers 1 through 10 already. Some of you may anyway. But let's go in and get started. Like, what do you think? Can someone tell me in chat, what is number 1 in Japanese, if you know it? What is 1 in Japanese? We'll start with the Romaji. What is 1 in Japanese? I know there's a bit of a delay, so I'll wait. Ichi. Ichi is correct. Ichi. So I know I can't hear you, and this is not a Zoom call, but go ahead and repeat that after me, if you can. Ichi. 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 Now, remember what I said before, like sometimes the sounds are silent or like omitted. In this case, you may sometimes hear someone say ich instead of ichi, and that's okay, it means the same thing. Ich, like instead of ichi, ni, or so forth, they may go ich instead. It's going to be the same thing, but it's even though it's pronounced that way, the writing in Romaji will always be this way. And this is where I'm gonna put it in my iPad first. And where's my iPad? Here we go. So for 1, unfortunately I can't make this any larger. For 1, for the this is ichi, and for hiragana it's going to be ichi. But what's most important is that I want you to know that when you write the kanji, this one's actually one of the most difficult kanji that exists in Japanese, and I hope you guys are I hope you're prepared for this, because this is going to be extremely difficult. To write the number ichi in kanji, it's going to be this. My god, it was so fucking difficult, guys. Hey Sebastian, welcome in. This is like the hardest kanji in the world, guys. I struggled. Like, could you imagine artist senses? Like, the line wasn't straight enough. No! No! I gotta try. I gotta keep trying, guys. No! That's a circle, that's not a line. Like, could you imagine someone struggling like that? But, ichi. I was like, the stress in making this thing. Now notice that even though it's a straight line, I've kind of curved it a little, and that's actually more natural when writing Japanese. There's a slight slant to it, not like a very big one, but there's like a slight one there. So ichi. Jack having a meltdown. You should see me draw. Actually, some of you have. I'm like trying to be calm when I draw, kind of thing. If I go back to the document, I'll go in and add this in hiragana. Let me switch this to my IME. No, that's not it. Okay, so we have ichi in hiragana and ichi in the kanji. Now, because it's computer, it's gonna be an absolute left and right. But like when you write it, like have a slight, like I said, have a slight curve to it, a slight slant. Ichi. And while we're waiting on that, could someone like share in the chat what is number 2 in Japanese? What is number 2? Our second is sugi no ban wa nan desu ka? What is our next number? Sugi no ban wa nan desu ka? See, I'm using ban for like number. I wonder if it should be bango, actually. Sugi no bango wa nan desu ka? I should ask, I should find out from Kitsuneko. What will be our next number? What is number 2? Sugi no bango wa nan desu ka? And if you don't know, that's perfectly fine, since we're still learning this. Our next number is actually going to be ni. Repeat after me, even though I can't hear you. Ni. Oh, hold on. Ni. Ni. Kind of like the knights that say ni from Monty Python, but ni. So we have ich, ni. Now, writing number 2 is very similar to writing ichi. So here, ni. The hiragana will be ni. And then the kanji, very similar to writing ichi, will be ich, ni. Oh my goodness, that scared me. Brave with Max, thank you for following. Welcome to the Tiger's Den. I am Jack the Tiger, and today we are learning numbers in Japanese. Now, pay attention to how I wrote the kanji for ni, guys. Even though it's very similar to ichi, which is like, it's 2 lines, there is a specific way you should draw the lines. Pay attention to it. Like, the top line is smaller than the bottom line when you draw it. The top line will be smaller than that bottom line. So, ich, ni. And like when I wrote it, there is a slight slant, a slight angle to it. That is more natural when you are using written Japanese. Let me go back to the document and update it there. We have ni, oops, and the kanji. Oops, that's not kanji. And the kanji for ni. There we go. So even with this this kanji here, you can tell that the top line is shorter than that bottom line when writing ni. And Grey Wolf, if you're interested in continuing on with our Japanese lessons, you can do so in my Discord, which is !Discord. Like I mentioned earlier to everyone else, that link should work. Once you agree to the Discord rules, if you could go into Role Selector, select and then react to the role that gives you access to the Japanese lessons. It should be Jack Sip. There you'll find this current document for Chapter 1. Which is what we're focusing on. We're at the very beginning of our lessons. Alright, for number 3 in Japanese. Number 3, this is, and I'm going to move on because like I don't intend to stream too long today since I'm kind of in a mood. I've been kind of in a bad mood today and it's been trying my best to stay chipper. My best to stay cheerful. For our next number will be san. So repeat after me. I know I can't hear you, but repeat anyway. San. Sun. Sun. And this is the number 3, sun. Let me go and do the iPad again. And for sun, it's written as S-A-N. Sun. And in hiragana, I don't know why I wrote it that way because I normally don't write my sa that way. So let me try this again. Sun. And the kanji, very similar to kanji for numbers 1, 2, and 3. It will also be just 3 lines, like we're continuing this pattern, 1, 2, 3 lines. But pay attention, like we have ich, ni, san. There are 3 lines, but in this case, the middle line will be the smallest of the 3. The bottommost line will be the largest of all 3 lines. Thank you, Lions Chat, for that. So again, there's 3. We have ich, ni, san. 3 lines. And this is reflected in the will be reflected in the document as well. If I wrote this in the hiragana, oops, san, and then the kanji here. Notice that the middle line is, thank you, Microsoft. The middle line is also still the smallest of the 3 lines. Now, 4 is one of the few special numbers in that there are actually 2 ways of saying 4. And in Japanese, there are 2, they use both ways. So this is not a situation where you can use one or the other. You will be using both. And this number is for 4, shi or yon. Let's start with the first one. Repeat after me. Shi. 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 And I remember when I was helping my 5th graders learn Japanese numbers, I said, how could we remember? Let's make a phrase. She cheated on her test 4 times. She cheated on her test 4 times. So that they remember that she meant 4 in Japanese. She cheated on her test 4 times. sadly, that actually worked for them. They remembered it because of that. She cheated. I'm like, oh, great, whatever. As long as they remembered it at least. The other way to say this in Japanese, repeat after me, yon. 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 And for those of you with like a Filipino background, and I told this to my high school kids, this is like what your Filipino mother says as she points with her lips for you to get the remote. Like, anak, get the remote. Yon, pointing with her lips. Instead of yun, it's yon. Yun. Oh god, I relate to that a little too well. Where is Zerak for that one? He would appreciate that one. Now, here for the hiragana, she... Whoop, that's different she. She... It could be this one, or yon. And this is where the kanji starts finally being a little different. So like I said, this is she, or yon. And likewise, she, or yon. Chat, did anyone watch Bleach? Because you may be recognizing these numbers as the numbers put in the back of the captain's coats. Anyway, there's a specific stroke order to writing this one, so watch as I do this carefully, because this is going to be one of the more complicated numbers. So we have ich, ni, san, shi, go. There are 5 lines to this one, and I'll do it again in a different color. I'll do it in, I'm going to do it in green. So, ich, ni, ich, ni. Pay attention to that second line. Notice how I'm going right and down. That is one stroke with a brush when you're writing this in Japanese. So, ich, ni, san, shi, go. And this is how you write the number 4 in kanji in Japanese. I'm going to move this up like that. And I'm going to go on and put this in the document now as well, too. We have shi and yon, and the kanji will be there. Now, I kind of gave away what number 5 was when I was counting, drawing the kanji for number 4. But to say number 5, it's going to be go. So repeat after me. Go. 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 And then in hiragana, go. Different go. There we go. Go. So 5 is go. Now, notice that I put like these little, it looks like quotation marks. These are called diacritical marks they're diacritical marks. It changes the sound of this hiragana. In this case, this hiragana by itself is ko, but adding these 2 diacritical marks changes this to go instead of ko. Yes, the symbols in the back were numbers the whole time. I'm like imagining that meme. The symbols in the back were numbers? They were numbers the whole time. To write the number 5 in Japanese, this will be the stroke order. We have ich, ni, san, yon. And I'll do that again for you guys too. Ich, ni, san, yon. And that's how you write the number 5. To help you remember this symbol, like it kind of looks like a stick figure. If we put a circle right here, it looks like a stick figure doing the Warrior 1 yoga pose. So like putting a circle on top of this, like I said, it makes it look like a stick figure doing the Warrior 1 yoga pose. And I'll put that in the document as well as we move on to our next numbers. I do want to apologize though. I meant to do numbers before I whatchamacallit, before I got even further into the grammar, I wanted to do numbers and I completely forgot about it. But it's probably for the best that I'm going over the numbers now. Number 6 in Japanese will be Roku. So repeat after me if you can. Roku. 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 And then the hiragana, Roku. Now, what helped me remember Roku was actually Avatar, The Last Airbender, for Avatar Roku. Avatar Roku. So I pretended Avatar Roku was the sixth Avatar. I know that's not true, but it helped me memorize it. Roku. Or you could say something like, I use my my Roku TV to watch 6 anime or something. Roku. And the hiragana, Roku. That is ugly. I'm going to try that again. Roku. There we go. And the kanji for Roku, this one's kind of funky, but ichi, ni, san, shi. There are 4 strokes to draw this kanji. Again, ichi, ni, san, shi. Now this kanji here, the kanji for number 6, has a special place in my heart. And the only reason why that's the case is because when I was teaching this to 2nd grade, I had this one little girl in my class raise her hand. Big fucking smile on her face because she knew she was going to say something smart. She was very confident her answer would be great. And I said, yes, did you have a question? She said, no, I just wanted to say that I like this symbol because it looks like those people from The Walking Dead, but he's been decapitated. So I will remember this. And there's me, the teacher, up there, mouth wide open, completely shocked that a 2nd grader knows and understands the word decapitated. That, and also wondering why a 2nd grader's watching The Walking Dead. Like, what are your parents doing? My goodness. So that's the kanji for number 6, Roku. And if you look at it, it doesn't, maybe not exactly decapitated, it looks more like his legs have been ripped off, in my opinion, but whatever. I did not say that to her, by the way. That would have elaborated more, and I would have got a call home from her family. Let me go on and open the document. Let's add the kanji for Roku. There we go. For those of you that, anyone here play Fatal Frame, like the first Fatal Frame? You could say that this kanji it's like Kyrie during the strangling ritual when her limbs have been ripped off. Very morbid. Now number 7, Jacob, yes! Oh my god. Number 7, very similar to number 4 in that there are 2 ways to say this number, and yes, both of them are used in everyday Japanese. The first way we're going to put is shichi. Very similar to like how she cheated on the test 4 times. This one, she cheated on the test 7 times. Shichi. Repeat this one with me. Shichi. 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 Now, some of you are Spanish speakers, and it kind of sounds like I'm saying chichi, and you're like, your teacher said chichi. We'll be back to that word in Japanese later, by the way. But shichi. The other way, and this is the one that I tend to use a lot more, is nana. For those of you that play Genshin Impact, chichi is nana in Japanese. And again, for the hiragana, shichi or nana. And I'll write this again in the document. So here we go. Number 7, numero 6. Numero 7. Number 7. Again, remember, there are 2 ways to say this. To say this number. We have shichi and nana. And I'm gonna run out of space, so shichi Nana. Now this is one of the more easier kanji to write for numbers. It's going to be 2 strokes, just ichi, ni. Kind of looks like a T in a way. Ichi, ni. Man, I spent half an hour on numbers already. And in the document, the working document, I'll go and put this number here. Nana. There we go. Now, number 8. We're going to stick with the one way to say number 8. It's going to be hachi. Hachi. And some of you may recognize this as like the story of Hachi, the dog that was the Shiba Inu dog. I think it was a Shiba Inu. No, it was a Akita. That was waiting for his owner at the train station every day, but his owner had passed away in the hospital. So the dog would always go to the train station and wait for his owner, who would never come. And eventually the dog passed away waiting for the owner. But that loyalty was so inspiring to the Japanese people. Eventually they erected a statue in honor of Hachi, the dog Hachi. I believe they call him Hachiko. For those of you that watch Futurama, there was a very fucking sad episode completely based on that too. Put you all in a bad mood. So number 8 in Japanese. Hachi. So repeat after me. Hachi. 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 I believe they made like a American version of it. I don't know how good it was because like it's one of those things that gets lost in translation, I believe. Hiragana for hachi. Hachi. You know this hachi from T. What is TWEWY? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Tweewee? The road ends with you. Oh, I don't know. I have not watched that one. However, I had my elementary kids remember hot cheese. Like, how do you like your nachos? With hot cheese. Hot cheese. Hachi. There are actually... There's... I tend to write this different ways. To write the kanji, you can go like ichi, ni. GG, by the way. That is ugly. I'm going to try this again. To write this, you can go ichi, ni. And it kind of looks like a volcano if you think about it. Like, oh, look, it's you could say like this is Mount Fuji kind of thing. It kind of looks like a volcano if you like add the extra lines to that. But hachi. You may occasionally see it written like this, like ichi, ni. But both of them mean the same thing. Like, the second one looks even more like a volcano, in my opinion. So pick which way that you prefer. I use both, personally, when I write this number. We have 2 more numbers to work with, or to learn, and then I will go over how to make these numbers bigger, up to 99. So for number 8, we have hachi and hachi. So yeah, see how like in this, even this text, it uses that line over that one for 8. Now number 9, there are 2 ways to say this. And I do want you to know both, but there are specific ways that you would use them. One way is Q. Q. So repeat after me. Q. Now be careful, it's not just Q. There's a second oo here, so Q-oo, Q. And since we're at the beginning level of Japanese, I'm going to exaggerate that so you can hear that that's extended. Q. Not just Q, but Q. It kind of sounds like the letter Q, but you're holding it out longer. It's like, what letter is that? Q. Where are you? Where are you? I'm waiting in queue. How long's the queue to get into Final Fantasy? Maybe it's 9 because 9 is Q. I don't know. I'm just making this obnoxious now. The other way is Ku. And I'm going to put a star here because... Hey, Dip, welcome in. I'm putting a star in Ku because there are specific times that you will use this instead. But generally, when counting in Japanese, we're always going to be using Q. So the hiragana, Q. Q. And I'll put this in the iPad as well for number 9. So like I said, number 9, Q, and sometimes Ku. Now, when I write this, I'm writing the hiragana for ki. Then I'm going to write a small size hiragana for yu. When I combine these two together, this big ki with a small yu, I change the sound from ki, yu to q. And I will elaborate more on that later, but there is a big difference between ki, yu and q. Ki, yu would be like this. Ki, yu. Like they're both the same size. That would be something different. Ki, yu. And that's also technically 2 syllables, 2 sounds. Ki, yu. Now, when I make it smaller, like I did when I first wrote it, ki and a small u, it turns it to only 1 syllable. And that 1 syllable is like blending the ki and the u together. You get Q. Q. And of course, Q, U, Q in hiragana. And to write this, it's going to be ich, ni. That is ugly. I'm going to try that again. Ich. I like this one. I'm going to keep it. Ich. Ni. One more time. Ich. Ni. Q. And I'll put these into the online notes as well. There it is. And the last number that the last new number I will teach you today is number 10, which in Japanese is similar to Q. It's going to be ju. So repeat after me. Ju. 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 So number 10 will be ju. J-U-U. And to write this, I'm going to use she. And again, add the diacritical marks to change the sound from she to G. Just like with Q, I'm going to take this G and I'm going to add a small U right next to it. This changes it from G-U to Ju. Ju, like juice? Yeah, kind of like juice. G, small U makes Ju. But because there's a second U, let's not forget about that second U. It's going to be Ju. Ju. Like Jamba juice. If you'd like to know, juice in Japanese is jusu. Like if you like orange juice, orange juice ga suki desu. Orange juice ga suki da. I was obnoxious with that. 誰がオレンジジュースが好きですか? 俺がジュースが好き. And to write this in kanji, similar to ichi, we're gonna do ichi, and this time right in the middle, ni. It looks like a plus sign, like a very big plus sign. Again, ichi, ni. Notice that when I was writing this, I start with left to right first before I go up to down. I'll show you guys one more time. Ichi, ni. Oh, that's cool. Jusu. And there you have it, folks. That will be our first 10 numbers in Japanese. And actually, I'll leave it over here. And I'll put this in the charts that you guys can follow along with our growing Google document also. So Ju, and then Ju. There you go. Now, remember what I said, that once you know how to count from numbers 1 through 10, you can technically count to 99. I'm going to be using these numbers from this chart in order to do that. Now, counting in Japanese is actually very simple. For us English speakers, we're used to counting because, well, we grew up with it. But in the beginning, in retrospect, I feel like the Japanese way of counting is actually a lot more convenient. In order to count, we're going to use this format. I'm going to add another table. And I'm going to actually say how to... It's underlined. How to count... Oh, I know why it's underlined. How to count above number 10 in Japanese. Taipu dekinai ne. And to count numbers higher in Japanese, I'm going to do this. Like I said, I'm going to insert a table, and I will color code this in a moment. What should I color this time? You know what? Here, we'll use 3 colors. I'm gonna use the 3 levels of Japanese. We're gonna do Japanese red, which we're not at. We're gonna do Japanese green, which is the next level once we're done with all this stuff. Then we're gonna do Japanese blue because that's where we're currently at. And I'm gonna center all of these, and we're gonna put. How do I say this? I'm putting number here in parentheses because this number is going to change. It will be changing. In fact, here, let me add another column to the right. Insert column to the right. There we go. And we'll call this resulting number. I know some of you may have made your chart already. I apologize. I'm adding another column. Here, I'm going to put 10. This will always be 10 in this case. And you may have recognized this. This will be the ones place. The ones place. And I'm going to use this chart to show you guys how the counting system works above the number 10. Now, for now, I'm going to completely leave the number here empty. I'm going to leave this empty. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave it blank. But in the tens place, I'm going to first put 10 here, and that is Ju. Ju by itself just means 10. Ju by itself is just 10. So I'm putting it here in the tens place. If I want to say 11, I need 1 10, which is Ju, and a 1. Ju, and in chat, what is the number for 1? Use a chart to help you guys with this. What is the number for 1? And you can type it in there. What number do I need for 1? And like I said, I know there's a delay, so I'll wait. Each, yes, Ju. And then we're going to add ichi. Oops. Ju, ichi. So if I put these together, Ju, ichi, the number becomes 11. Ju, ichi will be 11. Ju, ichi. Put them together, you get 11. Ju, ichi. Now, I'm going to use the same logic here, and I'm going to copy Ju. We're going to use Ju again. Copy, paste. We have Ju. But instead of ichi, I'm going to put the next number. I want the number 12 now. So I'm going to need the next number. What is the number 2? Yes, so Ju ni. It will be Ju ni for 12. The resulting number will be 12. And as you can see, and this pattern is going to repeat. We have Ju Ichi for 11, Ju Ni for 12, Ju San for 13, Ju, and I'm actually going to use Yon in this case, Ju Yon for 14, Ju Go for 15, Ju Roku, Ju Nana, Ju Hachi, Ju Q, and like I said, this pattern repeats until we get to 20, in which case, this is where this number part is going to now take place. Now, here, I'm going to put Ni. Oops. I'm going to put this in new. Here, let me move this down. There we go. I'm going to put Ni. Why? Here we go. I'm putting the number Ni. Because now I have 2. I'm going to put Ju here. And if I want 20, we're going to leave 20, just number 20. I'm going to leave this blank. Because we don't have a value in that place. Ni Ju. And the resulting number here is 20. Now, the reason why this is because we have 2 tens. We have 2 tens. 2 tens makes 20. Now, you may be wondering why. Why do we not say 0? Well, it's the same reason why we don't say 0 for 10. 10 is just Ju. There's a 0 here. We're not saying it. Ju. So, Ni Ju. Ni Ju. Another comment I get is like, why do we not say Ichi Ju then for 110? Well, again, just because Ju is already 110. It's like... It would be considered redundant. Like, you do not need to say that. Like, Ichi-ju would just be, like, weird. It's like, why would you do that? You're saying the same thing. So it's just going to be Ju. So, like, Ju-ichi, Ju-ni, Ju-san, Ju, and so forth. For 20, Ni-ju. In which case, that means, what is 21, guys? We're gonna keep Ni. How would we say 21? How would we say 21? That is correct. It would be Niju Ichi. And so we have Ichi again. And once you know this pattern, counting from 1 to 99 is actually very simple in Japanese. Ni, ju, ichi. Now, ni, ichi, that's actually a very common mistake that my students used to make too, Lion. So, and I try to correct this. Like, you have to remember, don't forget that tens place. Don't forget the tens place. If you say ni, ichi, you're actually just saying two numbers. You're just saying 2, 1. Which in English, we're like, well, what's the difference? But in Japanese, there's a very big difference. Because 2 and 1 belong in the ones place. Whereas niju is how they would recognize as 20. So niju, ichi. Let's do one more practice. And I'm going to try to make... I'm going to do a different number. Try 26. What would 26 be in Japanese? Use this example and even use the chart from above. How would you say 26 in Japanese? How would we say 26? In fact, I'm going to keep this... I'm going to highlight all of this in green because this is not going to change. These numbers will not change. How would we say 26 in Japanese? How would you say 26 following this pattern? I got one answer. Anyone else want to try? So it would be ni. Ni. Oh my gosh. Ni. We're keeping ju. And I said 26, right? Roku. Niju roku. So yes, you were correct, Asanonix. Niju roku. So Ni, ju, roku. So ni, ju, roku. Yes, you can put them together. I'm only separating them so that you guys can see how I am writing it like this. See how I have these separated into box? That's the only reason why I'm doing this, so you can see like how you should write it. So the way that Lions, the way you're writing is perfectly fine. Because once you start writing in hiragana, there is no space. you just put them all together. In which case, chat, following this example, make a guess. What is 99 then? What is 99 going to be? Try your best. Try it in chat. What is 99? What will 99 be? Use the chart to help you guys. What is 99 in Japanese? And like, remember, we're following this pattern still. So again, we have our chart and this. QQ, you're close. Don't forget the tens place. Because the number you gave me is just 99. But we want 99. You're really close. You're just missing one thing. Missing just one thing. Hold on, I gotta check Discord. I'm getting alerts. Now you got it now. It will be for 99. It'll be Q, Ju. Oops, that's the wrong Ju. Q, Ju, Q, or Q, Ju, Q. There you go. Yes, now you're correct. Q, Ju, Q. Don't forget that tens place. Because we still need that tens vibes. Remember, this translates to 9 tens in English. 9 tens is 90. So 9 tens and 9 ones. Good. Let's try... What is 44? And this is my lucky number. I like the number 44. What is 44 in Japanese? Give that your best shot. Again, use the patterns here, as well as this chart to help you create this number in Japanese. What is 44? Yes, that is correct. 44. So 44. And I'll put this in Roman kanji first. 44. And then 44. Now, I've been repeating the same number, so let's try another one. I'm gonna try one last random number, and it's gonna be what number did I... Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do this one. Try 50. What is 50 in Japanese? And be careful, because there's no number after this for the 0. We don't have anything here. So pay attention to how we made the numbers, how we made the number 20. And how did we make the number 10? Did we use a 0? Or did we just leave it alone? How did we make 20? Try to do that with 50. Try to make 50. Yeah, close. The number you made was 15. The 10 and 5. You're very close. You have the correct words. It's just the order of them. Jugo would be 15. But we want the number 50. 50. In this case, yes, Ju is never removed. In this case, yes, Ju is never removed. Yes, Goju. So 50. Goju. Goju. You put the, like, because this will be 5 tens makes 50, not just 1 10 and 5, which is 15. So Goju. Goju. The only time that we will not use Ju is, first of all, when we're going from 1 through 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 through 9, because there is none, so we're not going to say it. The next time that we will not have Ju is when we're doing numbers like 100 to 109, 200 to 209, and so forth. And we'll go over 100 the next time, because that adds, there are many different ways to count, to say hundreds. And at this point, I don't want it to be too confusing. Now, why did I teach... now that you guys know numbers 1 through 10, we can now count up to 99, which we tried. Kyuju for 99. Yonju for 44. Goju for 50. If I wanted to say 51, Goju ichi. 52. Goju ni. Like, use the chart to help you with the patterns. I know the chart only has numbers like 21, 26. But this pattern will continue with all the numbers up to 99. After 99, we're going to change this pattern a little bit. And we'll go over that in Chapter 2, since we're focused on Chapter 1 right now. You're actually doing that right now? Wait, going above 99? Now that we know these numbers, actually, we can do one thing. I'm going to insert another table, because we're going to separate this to a different part. We're still using numbers, but this part time, we're using the numbers to count time. How to tell time using these numbers in Japanese. How to use these numbers to tell time in Japanese. What did I do? Oh, here it is. Here we go. There we go. How to tell time using these numbers in Japanese. And in order to do this, we're gonna add some new words. So important words to know for this. It's going to be ima. And this means now. Or right now. The next word we're going to need with these numbers is G. And this means something o'clock. Other words we can use are gogol. Actually, let's do gozen first. Gozen, which means AM, and then we have gogol. Oops, sorry. Gogol, which is PM. An important thing to know about gozen and gogo. When we tell time in English, we like to say, right now, it is, and I'm going to round up, because in San Diego right now, it is 6 o'clock p.m. Right now, it is 6 o'clock p.m. here in San Diego. And I'm going to highlight this, because we're going to be using this again. We're going to be using this time, this note one more time. Also, please be aware that we're only going to be telling time to the hour with this. So we're still learning. So for now, we will be telling time to the hour and half hour only for this chapter. We'll learn the other, we'll learn the minutes later. And I'm gonna make this a big note. And here's our rule. To say a time in Japanese, use this pattern. And I'm going to center this pattern again in another table. As you guys can guess, I really like using tables. And it's really going to be simple in this table. We're going to have the number plus G. And that's really it. The number plus G to make the time. Now, let's be realistic here. Am I going to say like 50 o'clock in Japanese? No, because 50 o'clock does not exist. Which means, which numbers will I be using? They're only going to, to make it easy, we're only going to be using 12 numbers when telling time in Japanese. Remember, to the hour. And since I'm actually adding half hour, we're also going to be adding here Han. And this means, oh my god, I hate switching between the two. And this means half. Yes, we're only going to be using numbers 1 through 12. So, to tell time to the hour, we're just going to be using this pattern. The number plus G. So if I wanted to say 1 o'clock, I would just use this pattern, the number plus G. So, 1 o'clock is, we're going to use the number, which is ichi, plus G. So, ichiji for 1 o'clock. Ichiji. In fact, you know what? I'm actually gonna write this entire chart. Because there's actually a specific way that I need to do this, not that I remember. We'll do yellow, green. Actually, no, I'll just make a new table because 1, 2. And we'll center this up. I'll go over how to use go-go in a moment. So like 1 o'clock would be ichi-ji. 2 o'clock would be nichi. 3 o'clock will be sanji. Notice that we're just counting. Now, I'm going to highlight this box because this is where, this is an example of how fucked up counting can be in Japanese. Forgive my French. If there's anything with the Japanese language that I really, really dislike, it is counting. Because there are many ways to do it. And it's because of counters. G is the counter for time. So we add it after a number. Now, I'm highlighting 4 o'clock because it's not going to be shiji or yonji. It's going to be yoji. And I'm going to put star here because this is one I've highlighted, and I'm putting stars here because this is an instance where a number has changed. So instead of yonji, it's going to be yoji. Now 5 o'clock, goji. 6 o'clock, rokuji. I almost said seishiji, and I'm like, wait, that's wrong. 7 o'clock. Shichiji. I think Shichiji is more appropriate here. I don't think they would say Nanaji, really. Shichiji. I mean, I guess you could use both. You'd be understood, but I think it's more appropriate to use Shichiji. 8 o'clock. Hachiji. And here's where I'm going to highlight another section. And I'm going to put this in green as well. 9 o'clock. Now remember when I spelled 9, it could be Q or Ku. In this case, it's Kuji. I was going to teach you guys how to do age, but I think I may hold off on that and do that in the next lesson, because this is starting to be a lot. I mean, unless you guys are okay to go, because it requires me to make another chart like this for age. But after this, 10 o'clock, 11, I should just put numbers instead of writing these out. I should have just like wrote it like this, guys. It would have been so much easier on me. And like 12 o'clock. These will follow the general rules. So 10 o'clock, Juji. 11 o'clock, Ju Ichiji. And 12 o'clock, Ju Niji. So to tell time, we're adding the word G at the end each time. We're adding the word G at the end. So other than numbers for 4 o'clock and 9 o'clock, any questions? Because out of all of these are the only ones that will be different. Specs Guy, thank you for following and welcome to the Japanese lessons. I'm Jack the Tiger and currently we are learning numbers in Japanese. If you're interested in keeping up with our lessons, you can follow along and have access to this working Google document here on the Discord channel. Just make sure you accept the rules and go to Role Selector to access the Japanese section. Now, let's see. I believe they could use the 24-hour clock. I mean, it does exist. But for ease of this lesson, we're only going to stick with 12. Because that would be more considered military time. And Asanonix, you said and go-go. What about go-go? So I'm going to go back to this. Like right now, it is 6 o'clock p.m. First of all, in chat, type in, how would we say 6 o'clock? It is here on the chart, and I did type it, but how would we say 6 o'clock? How would we say 6 o'clock using this chart? That is correct. Rokuji. Rokuji for 6 o'clock. So if I wanted to say it is 6 o'clock, I could just simply say like simple. It is 6 o'clock. It will be Rokuji desu. Remember, our verb desu is to be. Desu, and I'm gonna highlight this also. Desu is the same meaning as is in this case. So Rokuji desu. It is 6 o'clock. So here there's the kanji for G. We haven't learned that yet. So Rokuji desu for it is 6 o'clock. And the use of desu refers back to our previous lesson where we had like the subject and the predicate. It is 6 o'clock. Rokuji, the it being like assumed, the assumed subject. It is Rokuji, 6 o'clock, desu. Our verb is desu. And remember, desu means to be. In English, to be is either am, is, or are. In Spanish, it's like either estoy, estás, están, estamos, and so forth. but we're still going to be using des. It is 6 o'clock. Now, if I wanted to say it right now, it is 6 o'clock. This is similar to what I wrote at the very top. And this is where we can use our next vocabulary word, which was ima, for like now, or right now. Right now, it is 6 o'clock. I could say, ima wa rokuji desu. Ima wa rokuji desu. Right now is my topic, because I'm talking about right now. Ima wa rokuji desu. Ima wa rokuji desu. Ima wa rokuji desu. And this one may be easier for you to understand because it's using the same format as the chart. We have my topic, my subject right now, ima, my subject particle or my topic marker, wa, and then my predicate at the end with the verb des at the end. Right now, it is 6 o'clock. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I'm gonna use that full sentence I wrote above, which was right now it is 6 o'clock p.m. Right now it is 6 o'clock p.m. I don't want to interrupt if you've already covered this, but what's the difference between ha and wa? That's actually a very good question. You may have noticed that I've been writing ha in Romanji. And the reason why I'm writing ha like this with the HA is because when you write in hiragana, you're using the symbol for HA, which is ha. But in Japanese, this ha will always be pronounced as wa instead. So, ima wa rokuji desu. Why do they do that? The best answer I can give you is they just do, to be honest. So, rokuji desu. Ima wa rokuji desu. Does this mean there will be times where there'll be like this ha next to another ha and they're pronounced differently? The answer is yes. And that's it just takes a lot of practice to get used to that kind of thing. Another way I can say this is that for Japanese people, it may be more natural, more easy to say ima wa instead of ima ha. It's kind of similar to how in English we may say what's the matter instead of what's the matter, because adding that T sound, even though it's spelled matter is spelled with T, it's easier for us to change it to like the D sound. What's the matter instead of what's the matter. Ima wa. It's just. I think it's in linguistics. It's called ease of articulation. It's just easier and more natural way of saying things. I hope that helps. A little bit, thanks. Let me go back. So this is very similar to what I wrote up here. Right now, it is 6 o'clock p.m. The only difference is that I've added p.m. In English, notice that p.m. is at the very end. We tend to say the time followed by a.m. or p.m. after it. But in Japanese, this is actually going to be reversed. I'm going to still say ima wa, but instead of 6 o'clock p.m., we're going to start with p.m. first. Gogo. And PM, that's one of our words. We said gogo and gozen for AM and PM. We put that in front of the number. Ima wa gogo rokuji. I'm going to put these two together because that's my time. Rokuji desu. Ima wa gogo rokuji desu. And let me highlight that for you because I'm going to highlight that in like blue. Because that's a difference right there. Right now it is 6 o'clock p.m. Ima wa gogo rokuji desu. In which case, I can now give you guys a diagram for telling time. Like I said, I really love my tables. Ima wa rokuji. AM, PM, rokuji desu. Here, let's try this much. So the first thing would be our subject. In this case, our subject is ima. Then we have our topic marker, which is wa, even though it's pronounced as wa. And the hiragana is ha. Here we'll put AM or PM. And in this case, you can do go-go or sorry, go-zen or go-go. AM or PM. It really depends on what you want. Or what you're trying to say. Go-zen or go-go. For our time, it will be number plus G for the time. So, in this case, example, I'm gonna use 6 o'clock again. 6 o'clock is rokuji. And we will always end with the verb. And in this case, the verb is des, which it means to be. So we have our subject, which I believe I highlighted this in yellow before. Our topic marker, and then of course we end it with our predicate, what this sentence is about. So ima wa, either AM or PM. The time, example, remember rokuji, desu. That being said, notice how in my first two sentences, like rokuji desu or right now, ima wa rokuji desu, the AM and PM is optional. If you're talking with people and the sun's out and you're like, it's 12 o'clock, they're probably gonna understand. Are there any other questions? I hope this chart, this table is actually helping you. So chat, what if I wanted to say, hold on. Right now, it is 4 o'clock AM. How would we write this? Half past and so. Yes, I will go. I will go over that after a little bit of practice. That will be the next thing. So try this in chat. Use this chart. Oops, hold on. Use this chart to try to say right now it is 4 o'clock AM. Right now, it is 4 o'clock AM. If you can write in hiragana, that's great. If you can't, then that's fine too. You can use the romaji. Ima wa gozen yoji desu. That is correct. Ima wa gozen yoji desu. Yes. Ima wa gozen yoji desu. And I see some of you are separating yoji. That's perfectly fine. I put them together so I know that I'm combining those to make that 4 o'clock. Yoji desu. And in hiragana, ima wa gozen yoji desu. Ima wa gozen yoji desu. Let's try right now. It is 12 o'clock PM. Try this one. Right now, it is 12 o'clock PM. Give this one a try. I'm really happy, you guys. Most of you guys have been getting this correct already. On your first tries, too. Ima wa gogo 12時です. Ima wa gogo 12時です. Yes, you guys have got it. Good. Ima wa gogo 12時. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna write it the way you guys are. 12時です. Lions, he's okay, because I'm doing that also. Remember, even though I'm writing ha, you pronounce it as wa, so like that's okay. For you guys, if you want to write the wa, if it's easier for you, that's fine. It's fine. I know you were just trying to help. Ima wa gogo ju ni. Actually, I can actually write this in kanji. Ju ni. Oh my goodness. Ju ni ji desu. There we go. Ima wa gogo 12時です. Now, Specs, you asked the question, what about half past and so forth? Today's goal, we're only going to learn time to the hour and half hour. We're only going to learn time to the hour and half hour. And I'm going to put this in I'm going to put this in bold and italics. We're going to do to tell time, oops, to tell time to the half hour. And here's our rule. To tell time to the half hour. Add han after the time. We add han after the time. And han was one of the words to know for this one, which is half. So we're going to add han after the time. Now this is easier than it is in Spanish. If I recall, like Spanish can be kind of tricky with telling half past. So let me go back to my first one. If I wanted to say, why am I so bolded? Hold on. Right now, it is 6:30 p.m. I'm only going to add han after the time. Now remember, this part here is the time. I'm going to add han after this. So I'm going to take my first sentence. So like, ima, oh, hold on. Ima wa PM, go Rokuji, and then we add it after the time. Han, right here. Han des. We just add it after the time, after the o'clock. So ima wa whatever number jihan des. That is correct. So we add it right here, and I'm gonna highlight this because this is where we're adding it. Right now it is 6:30 p.m. Ima wa gogo 6 jihan desu. Hold on. Ima wa gogo 6 jihan desu. And I will highlight it here too. So right now it is 6:30 p.m. Let's try the two examples we did before. Our first one we said it was right now it is 4 o'clock a.m. I'm gonna use the same thing. Right now it is let's change to 4:30 a.m. Give this one a shot, guys. Because remember, we have han after the time. So add it after the time. And then you know what? Here. Let's do this. And this is all in time. Ima wa gozen 4時半です. That's the first one. Ima wa gozen 4時です. This is what we had the first time. That is correct though. We add han here. Ima wa gozen 4時半です. To make 4:30. Ima wa gozen 4時半です. And then my last example we did was right now it is 12 p.m. Go on and give this one a shot too. Let's say right now it is 12:30 p.m. Go on and give this one a try as well. And I'll wait for everyone to try this time. 今は午前4時半です. Right now it is 12:30 p.m. In fact, right now it's almost... In fact, this one is very close to my real time in San Diego. Let's see, Astronomics and Specs. 今は午後12時半です. 今は午後12時半です. Yes, you are both correct. Ima wa gogo 12時半です。今は午後12 Oh my god. 12時半です. It is so difficult for me to do this in just hiragana at this moment. So very good, guys. It seems like you guys kind of got this. Remember, for the rule, for 30, Han comes after the time. And I'll highlight it each time that it appears. So, 今は午後12時半です。And that's actually going to be it for today, guys. Thank you guys for coming in for today's lesson. You all did such a great job. I'm actually really happy with it. Yeah, I'm dancing. I'm dancing with my face, right? I'm gonna go on and start the next thing here, and this will be, I use like font size 26, I believe. This will be, whoa, what happened there? I didn't want to do that. Okay, this will be font size 24, and this will be lesson 4, because today was lesson 3. We're going to do lesson 4. Let me go back to a normal size, 11. Insert tables, and this will, guys. Wait, what? No, I want this here, and this will give you a kind of a small hint of what the next lesson is going to be. There's one more thing in age that I do want to talk. You're right, it did break. Hold on, let me go back to just chat. There we go. Insert table. We're gonna paint this a dark blue, make it bold, and the font's gonna be white. Bills on the 2-bar? Yes, I do have my bills here for when I need to pay them. Let's sigh. So next one will be telling age, asking questions. I'm gonna leave it at this for now. And showing ownership, I guess. We may only get to this first 2 on Wednesday. That's when I'll continue lesson. Lesson will be on Wednesday. Showing ownership, it depends on the time it takes. We may do that one on Friday. Thank you guys for coming in. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. So Lion Chad, Asanonix, Specs, thank you for joining in. For those of you that are here, maybe you're lurking. If you are lurking and are interested in following along with the Japanese lessons, !Discord. I believe that link does work. Come in and join the Discord. Once you're in there, once you agree to the server rules, I suggest you go to Role Selector. In fact, let me go there now as an example. Go to Role Selector at the top and select the Japanese lessons by doing the JAC-SIP reaction. In the Japanese lessons, you find some general resources. We're focusing on Japanese 1 first. Here you find the Google document that I've been working on. Click that, it will open up, and it will be this entire page right here with all the notes that we've taken. We've done numbers and time right now. Time to the hour and half hour kind of thing. Konbanwa. Konbanwa. Never thought I'd go to Twitch for a language course. You can do a lot of things on Twitch. I'm actually very happy with how flexible Twitch is. So remember, if you're trying to say goodbye, who remembers? How do we say goodbye in Japanese? How did we say goodbye? Wait, I didn't teach you guys this one, did I? This was not one of the ones that I taught you. Oh no. Anyway, it's sayonara. I didn't teach you guys. How could I forget that one? It's one of the greetings. Sayonara. Sayonara. For goodbye. Yes, sayonara. Sayonara. I think I forgot how to do that one. While we're waiting, let me see, who can we raid out to? Who can we? Let me see who's available. I see Vince Wolf is now offline. Let's go to Slush Dog. Slush Dog is currently playing Hyrule Warriors. Wait, no, he's not. Oh, he is playing Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. Okay, so we're going to raid out to Slush Dog. Konbanwa is like good evening. Good night, like going to bed, is oyasumi. Konbanwa, good evening. Good evening. So here's going to be our raid. Yeah, I didn't teach Sayonara. I'll have to put that in the notes. So slash raid at slush. Wait, is there an understock? Like a slush. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I have so many windows open. Slush underscore dog. And he's a good furry doggo. Yes, he is. So slush underscore dog. And our raid message is going to be Age of Slush-amity with as many hearts as you can. So Age of Slush-amity. I have my tiger hearts. You can use whatever hearts you guys have available. So Age of Slush-amity. You'll find that funny. Thank you guys for coming in. Our next lesson for Japanese will be on Wednesday. Tomorrow night is the Final Fantasy XIV weekly reset. So me and my raid team will be doing E9 through 12S, or as much as we can again, and trying to prog through the final boss and finally beat that Oracle of Darkness. Thank you guys again. I will catch you next time.
Welcome on